I'm here with the lovely Jessica Montoya.
Hi.
We first met. I think you came to the May Substack meetup? Did you come to the May one?
I did. Yeah. That was the first time I met you. May of last
Yeah.
year.
I remember you came to write up in the summer,
Yes.
didn't you? And then your Substack is the Spritz.
That's right. Yeah. I love an Aperol spritz. So really, and I feel like it's zesty reflections on everyday life is how I describe it.
Excellent. And I've just seen Ocean's on, who's one of your cohort I was talking to today. Um, oh, I think that is
That's,
your husband.
that is my husband. Yes. That is my husband.
Excellent. Is he very excited to be? We won't give too much away, but is he excited to be featured in your piece that you're
He
reading?
is. He is. My mother-in-law will also be attending, and I don't think she has any idea. Um,
What's your face?
I'm gonna have to not look up at all because I think I don't know how Sally's gonna. She has a great sense of humor. I'm sure she'll find it funny, but if she's just cracks up laughing or any, then I'll lose it, and I don't want to do that.
I think I'm going to put you on last, actually.
Oh, lighten the mood.
Yeah. I was thinking I'd put Ocean on first. Haven't told Ocean that yet. And then put you on last. But yes. So Jessica, you are reading on Saturday.
Yeah.
At Write Up Studio, which is going to be at Barons Court Theatre.
Mhm.
And you were in lots of the photos from Write Up Christmas with your mother-in-law Sally, looking super, super glam. But yeah, I know you submitted and then you didn't get through. And then you then find out that we wanted you to come on to Write Up Studio to be mentored for the piece that you entered. So can you talk to me about what your journey was like up to that point?
Yes. Yes. So I remember because you really inspired me to submit a piece to Write Up Christmas in November. Because do you remember I was at the November meetup, and I think that's actually when I read my gluten piece.
I know. If you
Do
haven't
you remember that?
and you want some tea on female friendships, please go with me. When I see you, I think of gluten. I love it.
I love no, it's my gosh, that was an emotional piece for me, but like darkly funny in a way. But after that, you said, why don't you just write something and submit? And like the low stakes, at least you will have done it. So I was like, yeah, okay. I'll write a Christmas piece. And then I got it in my head and I was like, I think I can make something pretty funny about my husband's family versus my family at Christmas time. Um, so I submitted and I was up to the deadline. I remember I messaged you on WhatsApp and I was like, Amy, I'm really sorry. I want to submit something. It's kind of long, it's kind of late. And you were like, just do it anyway. And I was like, okay, great. um, so yes, submitted. I knew it was a long shot. Because I really have only started like feeling comfortable enough to publish anything since like last February. It hasn't been that long. Um, so I was a bit nervous and gosh, getting that rejection, I will say, I don't mind rejection because I think it's really important and it helps you learn and grow. But gosh, you sent me probably the nicest rejection email I've ever received in my life. Like if I'm gonna get rejected, that's the way I want to get rejected from now on. Um, and obviously then I went and attended Write Up Christmas, phenomenal event. I took my mother-in-law. She was buzzed after one mulled wine, so I think she had a really good time. um, and like you were posting about potentially doing Write Up Studio before it was like announced. And I didn't want to get my hopes up, but I was like, oh my gosh, I really hope they consider me. I would love to take part in this. And then you sent me an email and I was like, oh, it's happening. A chance to improve and to like connect and read it aloud. And so I was thrilled.
Like,
Absolutely thrilled.
and so the mentoring process. So we've gone from, I think I would have sent you the email inviting you on,
Yes.
and then sent you notes. Is that right? And then you would have done another draft, and then you'd have taken that draft to the circle. Was that the process up to then?
Yes, yes, it was. And
So
it was,
how was it?
I mean, it was great. Like your feedback, I really appreciated all of your feedback. I think sometimes when you're writing and you get so into the piece, it's hard to maybe look at it, take a step back and be a bit more objective about what's working well and what isn't. And that's really what you helped me do. Like your comments helped pull me out of it a level or two, and then I could think about, okay, well, this is where the flow is. This is what I should put more into. This is where it would work better, etc. So, I mean, your feedback was invaluable, and the writer's circle feedback was fabulous as well. I don't know. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but
No, so we did the written feedback and we had a Zoom, didn't we, where we read through it and then looked at how it could be working, and we talked quite a lot about using comedy, didn't we?
we did.
And
We did.
how to land the laughs and how to invite the comparison and the resonance. And
Yeah.
how was that before you had to do the draft for the circle?
Um, it was very helpful because it helped me identify which parts of the scene were really landing well, if that makes sense. Because before, like, I'm thinking through it and I'm thinking about how I view it now in the present, and I'm like dying. I was writing to myself and just laughing out loud, which makes me sound like a completely crazy person, but that is what I was doing. So it was helpful to hear from you which parts you really liked and which parts really stood out to you, like the mimosas. Not to spoil anything, but the mimosas. Um, because then I could lean into those themes and those elements a bit more.
Yeah. And then then we came to the circle, then you read it out to the circle and then got feedback again from me, but from Tom and Emma, but also from the rest of your
Yes.
cohort. What did you take from that?
Um, Maybe that I can actually write humor a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
I know she laughed out loud a few times, and I was not expecting that from her. I was like, "Oh, this is so reassuring." Um, so gosh, I mean, it was fascinating to get the feedback from everyone because everyone has such a different, take on it, just such a different point of view. Um, I really like some of Ocean's comments. And Ocean, I think it was you that was writing in pencil on your written out copy. So it was helpful to compare all of the notes from everyone and figure out, especially like, oh, is there one thing that everyone is really focusing on? Was I accidentally creating confusion at any point in this piece? Like, is there something I really should expand on? I mean, I think everyone said expand on the second bit. Yay, we got a thumbs up from Ocean. Everyone said expand on the second bit, but it was Tom Wentworth who said, I think you chickened out. And I was like, okay, note taken. Like, I'll buff that out and I will add more color there.
That's great. And then so having had all that, then when you then had to go and look at it all again, how did you start going through the feedback, but then thinking about actually the shape that you wanted the piece to take?
Ooh, that is a good question, Amy. Hmm. I think after all of the writer's circle feedback, I looked at the piece and I realized it was really unbalanced. Um, because I had spent so much time detailing my first Christmas with Julian's family, that I had completely overlooked how insane his first Christmas with my family probably was. Um, so I think it helped me with the structure to kind of provide more balance and make it a bit more well-rounded, I would say. That was the key takeaway, I think.
Yeah.
Mm,
And then so over the last 2 weeks while you've been doing your, like, final draft,
yes.
you've been having to balance it with work and then doing that. How's you found that?
Oh gosh, yes, and it's been a crazy month work-wise. Well, so writing is what I really love to do. So I've been making time for it. Just, I'll after work, I'll make sure I have like a few hours to refine or to think about it. Um, I'm sitting in my little office, our tiny second bedroom in our flat. And this is where I'll read little bits out loud and see if they flow nicely. And then I do most of my what I call it my creative time. I do it on Sundays, which you might have noticed because that's when I think I send you emails and I message you the most. Um, that's kind of the one day where, I usually tell Julian, like, I need some time for myself. He's like, all right, fine. um, and that's when I get a lot of the critical thinking and kind of the storytelling in.
Because your job is very different to
Yes.
doing on Substack. So, and then writing this piece, this like short story piece for performance, how does that make you feel about yourself and about your writing? And I think about your future, like what you would like to have
Oh,
more of.
that's a fabulous question because like for those who might not know, in my day-to-day job, I'm the lead of a data analytics and advanced analytics team. So it's like super technical, all about data and numbers. There is a slight degree of storytelling, but it's like for data, which is not as interesting as what I'm doing as part of Write Studio. So like writing short stories and like kind of, the work that I've shared with you and the stuff that I've done on Substack, it is very liberating because it's just a completely different side of myself that I never share at my day job because like the requirements of that job are so different. Um, and I think, gosh, I mean, I just love the community I've met. I feel like I've grown so much in the past 12 months just by like meeting all these different like fabulous writers at your meetups, at different events in London. So like I'm feeling like a much better rounded person, if that makes sense. Like I think previously I was just so focused on like the 9 to 5 that I wasn't like allowing myself to kind of have fulfillment in with writing outside of that. But now I've struck a much better balance with my life. And it's been great. Like I'm really happy that I joined Substack last year and found you. You found me actually.
Um, and with reading it out loud for performance,
Mhm.
how, 'cause I know you've read at the meetups and now you're gonna be reading at Write Up Studio on Saturday. How did it change from, like, posting to reading?
Oh, I would love your feedback on this, Amy, because I think that my mannerisms and I think the way that I write, which you wouldn't get if you just read it, I think I try and write really theatrically. Like, I feel like, I always joke with Julian, like I'm a very emotional person. I kind of just like every day there's a lot going on. And I like to try and channel that through my writing. So I think like when I read it out loud at the writer's circle, I feel like it really helped to lift it off the page because you could tell like how I was feeling by the way that I was trying to like inflect my voice and, the little subtle comments like in reality it's probably 3 minutes. Um so I think I mean I my favorite part is reading it out loud because I love the responses that I get from people when I do. And it was like that with the gluten piece as well. Like you guys were gasping at all the right moments and I was like, "Oh, it landed."
It's lovely because it becomes like a partnership with your listener,
Yes.
doesn't it? You know, it's
Yes, it
not just
does. It really does. And like and I honestly think that's my favorite part. Like through writing, I always really I try to find connection with people. And like I was really worried, like, oh, maybe this isn't a common experience. Like maybe like maybe no one else will understand what this has been like, or no one else. But then, once I read it out loud, I was like, oh wait, this is actually very common. And I think everyone in the room can relate to some extent. Um, yeah.
So how are you preparing for Saturday?
I have been reading I've been practicing my piece a little bit. Um, I read it in front of Julian once and he recommended a few a few yeah, he was like, he basically said, here's where you should pause for dramatic effect. And I was like, okay, well that's good to hear. I like the input. But that's pretty much it. Because I think with you, I've worked so closely and I've gotten like the piece to a spot that I really think like I'm very comfortable with where it's at. I'm proud of where it's like how far it's come. My gosh, from that first draft that I sent you to now. Um, so every time I do a new iteration, I read it out loud. Um, and that's kind of what I've been doing. And that helps me identify where it's working well and where I need to potentially switch up the language.
And how has that made you feel differently about the storytelling process? Because obviously you submitted something that I know you did on the wire, and then you've had the time to kind of, you've had like a month, haven't you, to reflect on it and hone it. And
Yeah.
how what's the difference, do you think, in the quality?
Oh my gosh, I think the quality's gone up 10 times. I think what I was missing from that first draft is I didn't have any time to like sit and reflect and think about how I could improve it. And that's what this like month with Writers Studio has given me. Like I've had feedback from you, chance to improve. Feedback from the group, chance to improve. Um, and then like here in the last week before Saturday, I'm just kind of I'm revisiting it. I'm seeing if I still like all the parts that I've liked previously. I'm seeing if there's something I want to make a little tweak to before Saturday. So I think that's helpful. And it's the element of just time and letting an idea kind of sit with you and then figuring out like, how does it make you feel? Where do you want to take it? That's been really helpful for me. I don't know. Does that ever happen with you in your writing? Do you do that?
Absolutely. Like, and I think the thing with this is quite short form.
Hmm.
Yours is, I think, about roundabout. So we did let you have a bit more leeway. So,
Yeah.
excuse me, I was gonna so for write up, it was 500 words, but for this, because it's in the studio, we've let you have a bit more leeway because there's only 5 of you, so we've got a bit more time, and we wanted, it's all about development. So, having a play with the story, and I think because you've got a, s- a short amount of words, actually you can really work. You have to perfect them. You have to make them work. You have to make them sharp. Like you can't really have excess or over over explanation or like let the tension drop. You can really see the movement of the storytelling arcs, and you have to keep the tension, and then you have to increase the tension. So I think often what happens is like people know they have to have a hook and they land on the hook. But then how do you keep that moving? Particularly if you're not going to be like too sensational. Like it's not like there's like, you know, been an avalanche in the middle of
I know.
like, and it's really all about the internal change, isn't it?
Yes.
Because the whole thing is that you're sharing what's happening externally alongside big changes internally. And I wondered how that was to kind of like have that duality of writing.
Oh my gosh. I think that tension's not the right word. The difference between what I think I was presenting externally versus what I was feeling internally, I think that's what makes it so funny. um, because I was trying my hardest to appear calm, collected, confident in being there. First Christmas with the in-laws, with my now husband's family. So I'm trying to present an exterior that's like, I'm so chill and I'm so go with the flow. When like that's not really me. Like that is not how I am. I'm the opposite of chill and go with the flow. Um, so internally, it was like my complete meltdown. Like, just like the panic, like the not knowing what was going on. But externally, I was like, remain calm. This will be okay. Like, this is, so normal. And I really feel comfortable with the processes of the day. So I almost think that's what I liked to explore was the internal versus external. I think that's what made me laugh the most when I was writing it. Because it was very different. And obviously, no one except me would have any idea what's going on internally, and I think that's where the humor really comes in.
Well, it's lovely because you're really letting us into something like very vulnerable and personal. So how did you find the confidence to be able to do that?
Ooh. Um, I have built it up probably over the past few months. Like I think I shared this with you briefly at the November meetup, but when I started in February, like when I joined Substack and was like, I'm gonna start posting, start, writing, I was like terrified. And I don't know why. Like it's such a lovely community of people and everyone I've met has been fantastic. But I think that I was just really hesitant about like putting myself out there and being vulnerable with anyone. Probably the only person I do that with regularly in my normal life is my husband. I'm a little bit more reserved. Um, So it was really just practice. Like I started slowly posting things that made me a bit more like, um, hmm, I was a bit more hesitant to post because I was like, oh, is this going to resonate with anyone? I'm exposing a lot of myself. But I just kept kind of breadcrumbing and doing it over the course of the few months prior. And then by the time December rolled around, I was like, no problem. I can do this now. I've been doing it. And, you know, nothing bad has happened. On the contrary, I have met some great people, and some of my Substack pals are like, "Oh, same. This is the same experience I've had," and that made me feel just a lot more confident to actually be vulnerable and allow myself to open up like that.
It's interesting because I know Ocean yesterday as well when we were chatting said that she's an introvert. And I think a lot the people that come to the meetups often email me and say, I'm a bit nervous, I'm an introvert. And then when
Just
they're
like
all,
you, Amy.
yeah, well, obviously, me and Tom Wentworth are the exception to the rule. Um,
Oh, I love that.
I think you could call us introverts, like,
Yeah. No, no, no. Gosh.
no. But I don't always like being with people. That is true. Like, I like
Mhm.
people for about 2 weeks of the month, and don't like people for the other 2 weeks of the month. Um, but
Balance.
yes, it's balance. But I think you would never know, like, seeing you, mixing with everybody at meetups or when you came to, like, both write-ups, I don't think you'd know that most of those people class themselves as introverts. And I don't know whether it's because it's that lovely sort of melting of, like, we read each other's work online, we engage with notes, and then we meet in real life. So this is kind of like continuity of connection. But I don't think anyone has to perform. I think people are actually being a very true version of their inner selves, but in a
I
really
agree.
careful way. That's how it feels to me anyway.
I totally agree. And like what makes the meetups really easy as well is that we all have like a shared interest, which is writing. And like, I told Oceane when I saw her at the Saturday writer circle, I was like, I've been reading your work online for quite a while. So it's nice to like meet you in person, which was kind of a funny moment. But like because I'd been reading her stuff, I was like, I feel like I know her already. And it was like that with some of the people at the meetups, like meeting George or when I met Alex, like it just felt really easy and like we all have this commonality to talk about and to cut, in social situations sometimes where you're like, oh my gosh, like how like keep the conversation going? Like, will there be enough? But no, we can always default to our writing. Like, have you read this person's work? Oh, I loved your piece on this. George, I love the piece that you wrote about your terrible ex flatmates. Which makes it really nice. And I think it's a comfortable environment for introverts because of that. And it's just such a welcoming group. Like you've done a great job, Amy.
I think what's nice is I was chatting to uh Ruth, who came to Christmas, and she's like really fantastic. She does really amazing work on like mental health and grief and
Oh,
all these things. And but I know that she gets really, really drained. And she said that she came
mhm.
to the Christmas one and she didn't feel drained. She said she completely enjoyed it. She
Amazing.
felt comfortable to talk and be part of it when she wanted to be part of it, but just to listen when she wanted to like listen. And I wonder if that element of storytelling lets us all kind of have a break from the talking, um to just really kind of listen to one voice and pay attention and then think about what it means to us. I wonder if that's kind of what makes it happen. Like if the words weren't part of it, even though we all have the common interest, I don't know whether it would feel the same.
Oh, that's a great point. I mean, yes, I think that's probably right. Because my mother-in-law is a huge introvert as well. Like that's how she would classify herself. But she left right up like buzzing. She was like, "Oh, that was great. Like I feel very creatively inspired." And um I think you're probably right. There is the element of, you don't have to speak if you don't want to. You can just be an active listener. But if you do want to partake, there's an easy way to do that as well.
And I think because we had Lauren, but also like the tables, and it's what I always wanted people to feel, that as if they came, that they had been seen and they had been heard and they had been part of something, not like you went all the way to an event and you sat there on your own and you spoke to nobody and then you left and there was no mark whether you were there or
Mhm.
not. And I always think whether people read or whether they're listening, actually it's all part of the set. That's what makes the magic. There's no kind of part that's more important.
I agree. I agree because the impact comes from telling the story and having people hear it effectively, like, hmm, that's a good point. I haven't thought about it that way before, Amy. I like this. I like,
Well, I think it's that thing of being, I don't know, people would say witness now, and I don't know if that's the right word, but
yeah.
I think it is that thing of kind of, it's such an ancient thing, storytelling. It's like our oldest thing. Um, and that you've shared something like really personal and perhaps been like a very true expression of yourself, and that it's been received and held with care feels really rare,
Yes.
nowadays, and also with people you don't know. And, who really get it. Because what's really frustrating is like sometimes you could be telling your friends or your family about what you're doing with your writing, but if it's not their bag, they're not that interested. So they don't know
No,
how much it means.
I totally agree. I know. I was sorry. I reacted because I was like, for months I didn't tell anyone about it because I was like, they don't get it. um, but now I've met enough people that really do get it that I'm like, okay, I found my people to connect with on this. I found a great group. Oh gosh, I totally get it. Yeah. And it is interesting because like I don't know if you have the same experience, but some of my best friends who just like really they would not consider themselves creative. If I'm being honest, I wouldn't consider them creative. Like they just don't get it. That's just not an interest we can, they're always like kind and supportive, but like, are they gonna read all no, they're not gonna read it. That's just not their bag.
No. And it's that, it's really funny that someone you will never meet, or perhaps you've just met, can read your words and see you so clearly and see your point of view, and in a way that people who've known you your whole life don't quite get it. It's such a funny thing, but it's so, I think for writers, it's so, for people who love words, it's so meaningful. And, I felt when I was at Write Up Christmas, I just like loved listening to everybody do their
I agree.
stories. And I was the only person who knew, well, no, Tom and Emma also. We were the only
Mhm.
people that all of the stories, and how they weaved together. And even I just sat back and was just like, oh, this is lovely. I remember thinking, God, this is such a moment of like such presence and such satisfaction, like feeling really satisfied in the moment that you're in, not thinking about what you were doing before or what's happening next, just being really present. Just feels like such a gift.
Oh my gosh, it does. And I actually had that exact thought during both write-ups, because I've attended the summer and the Christmas one. I think the beauty of the event is like the people that attend are really respectful, and because they probably place a high emphasis on writing and storytelling, like, everyone's phones are off. Everyone is fully paying attention to whoever is speaking. Like, it's really refreshing because I feel like normally, the phone is on all day, like, I'm constantly checking my messages. Sometimes I feel like I wanna just take it and throw it into the ocean, like, what, Rebecca Vardy? Is she the one that threw the laptop or the phone or something? I don't know, like, I'm inspired by that. I'm like, "I wanna do it too."
I mean, I think that's
Um,
because she had incriminating texts, but yeah.
that's not me, but I'm like, "Please stop messaging me, everyone." So yeah, being there and just phone off, fully immersed in what's happening and, like, just paying attention to the story, like, I think it was Eva who read at Christmas, and did she have a really beautiful poem? I think
Yeah,
she
about
did.
homelessness and yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, like, I remember the way that she, like, the poem was so beautiful, and I was picturing it so vividly. Gosh, I just got really emotional, but I was like, this is not the kind of thing I would have had such a strong response to had I been distracted by my technology. So I loved that I was just fully immersed in the moment.
I mean, how often do you find yourself watching TV now and you've missed like half the program because
Yes,
like it's
all
terrible.
the
It's
time.
really, and even I switch my phone off and put it in a drawer and I still feel it calling to me. It's awful.
I know.
It's so addictive and evil. Um,
Oh gosh, I know. I'm almost constantly on do not disturb now because without it, like all the WhatsApp groups, I was like, I feel like I'm losing my mind. Like this is where we're at in society. I've got like 50 groups going off. I just need a moment.
and how are you feeling about doing it? So we're doing it in a small studio theatre. I think it holds between like 40 and 50 people. So
Mhm.
it's smaller. But how are you feeling about it being in the studio?
I'm really excited. I'm very excited. I think I will be probably a little bit nervous going into it, but I think a small studio is going to be good for kind of the dramatic way in which I tell it, in which I read my piece. And I think I will get my prop. I know you mentioned like maybe a certain prop. Like, yes, I will get a prop.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm so excited. I think it's gonna be great.
I think it's going to be so intimate because I think there's about, obviously you're on. on the stage floor, but because it's
Mhm.
studio theatre, it's then tiered seating. And I think it's only 3 or 4 rows, so it's really kind of like in a U shape. It's like
Yeah,
looking in, so you'll be able to like be really close to people. I think that'll be so lovely, and then we'll all be in the pub upstairs afterwards, like having drinks, and that'll be so nice as well. So we get like an extra bonus get together this month.
I love it. So long, dry January. We have right up to attend.
It's a really nice pub actually. Actually, to be fair, so the same street as Queen's.
Oh, you mentioned this.
Yeah,
Nice.
Queen's tennis. And when the tennis was happening, is that Alcaraz? Is he the one that won? I think he won Queen's. And he
Yes.
was so drunk he fell down the stairs in the pub.
No! Oh my gosh. Let's get a plaque on the wall detailing this. I'll take a photo on the way out.
I probably
Oh,
shouldn't have said that on a live. Don't tell anybody. Okay, so
we're all sworn to secrecy.
I know we have a practice run tomorrow, and then I'm seeing you on Saturday, and I'm so excited, and I'm so super proud of you, and I love your piece.
Thank you
Like
so much.
because I text you a particular picture of something on Christmas Day, so it really
Yes.
suits me.
Loved
Um,
it.
I'm really excited to be able to do this. Like, it's been so satisfying, and it's made me think that, obviously paying the writers is really important, but actually having, they feel like a cohort, but they only get together on the day, and it would be
Yeah.
so, I mean, it's all fundraising dependent. I don't know how much I can keep asking people for money. Um, but, it would be so lovely to have more of a cohort program as part of Write Up as well. Like,
I
I think
agree.
people.
I totally agree, and, like, I love the chance to, like, improve and develop along the way with other people, like, it fostered a real sense of community that I really like.
Had
Me
such a beautiful day on that Saturday, didn't we?
It was so fabulous, oh my gosh, and, like, a few of us were walking to the district line afterwards, and the conversation just kept going, you know? Like, it just extended, but, we were all very immersed. So, ugh,
Right. So I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I'm so thrilled you're part of Write Up Studio.
me
Please,
too.
there's a few tickets left if people want to come. It
That'd be
would be
great.
lovely to have your support for the writers who are sharing their work. And it'd be nice to see you and talk about. I'm sure we'll have lots of ideas about things. I know after the meetup on Monday, I had loads of ideas from people about what they think I should be doing. And I Tuesday, I put it into ChatGPT, and it went, "I think you're doing enough." I was like,
You're you're like, "Okay."
"Thank you for the permission."
Right up Valentine's Day, Amy. You heard it here first. Oh gosh.
Okay,
Oh,
love you lots.
I
Bye.
love you. Bye.